All right, so we are good to go. Welcome, everyone. And this evening we are playing through the Riddling Reaver. We're going to start at Act 1. We're going to see how far we're going to get. We've got 3 characters ready rolled. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? I must admit I haven't written down your names, so we can do that as well.
Well, let me kick off the proceedings, Dave.
He's
Colin.
He's Colin. I'm Peter, and that's John.
I'm Dave, of course.
Colin Spikebit Green, and I will be playing. I'm going to be careful how I say this. Harry Bolsax. Right. Yeah. So skill 7, stamina 16, luck 9, and I'm super stoked to be playing Fighting Fantasy. This is a first for me.
We're playing it rules as written. Book.
Yeah.
And this is the very first RPG I ever played. This is my first and only, my first love, this campaign. So thanks very much to the Worms. All right, any details about Harry? Any features you've decided on?
Well, Harry's like an outdoors kind of guy, and he looks a bit like Kirk Hammett out of Metallica. He's got that sort of Lemmy style facial hair going on, and he's just not very competent. I imagine him being a bit of a supporting character in this endeavour.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Colin. Pete, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. Tonight I am playing Poppy, but she has a skill of 7, a stamina of 20, and a luck of 11. And this is the first time I've ever played Fighting Fantasy, either by myself or with these young reprobates.
Very exciting indeed. Thanks, Pete. Welcome, Poppy. Yeah, so just to say, we are playing the rules as written from the Riddling Reaver. It's pretty much the system as you would recognise from the earliest Fighting Fantasy game books. It's got a magic system added, but otherwise it's the rules as you will find in Steve Jackson's Fighting Fantasy, the introductory role-playing game. John, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm going to be playing Adolphus, the mage of the group this evening. He looks a bit, the picture I chose is a bit of a sort of frazzled, I forget his name, the guy who played Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah. Looks a bit like a sort of frazzled. If you imagine like Daniel Radcliffe, like as his grown self, when he's like not slept for a few days and he's a little bit rough around the edges. Probably got a bit of stubble if like Daniel Radcliffe can grow stubble. I don't really know. And a bit of a sort of glassy-eyed stare to him. Maybe from a weekend bender. Maybe from hideous arcane magics. Who knows? I'm skill 8, stamina 14, luck 8, and magic 16.
Fantastic. Magic 16. What's your favourite spell? What have you got most prepared of?
Well, I actually have 3 spells which I have prepared thrice. I have the fire spell, which does what it says on the tin, conjures and throws fire, which is handy because I'm not all that great on the offensive sort of side of things. I have luck, which allows either myself or another adventurer to regain half their luck, which I thought might be handy. And I also have a similar spell that does the same for stamina. So it effectively sort of works as healing, really, because obviously you lose your stamina as you get injured. So I thought it might be handy to have a little bit of healing and knocking about. And I've got a little smattering of a few of the other spells as well.
Fantastic. Right, is there anything you guys want to know before we start? So I'm going to read the text. It's part of the beauty of the Riddling Reaver that it's set out like a Fighting Fantasy game book. So there's a little bit of introductory text, and then there's a little bit of box text, and it's part of the flavour of it. I think I'm going to read that out, so we can launch into that. But is there anything you want to know about the system or the setting or?
Yeah. I've just got one question, unrelated. Don't want to derail anything this early on, but I'm calling out Pete for using the Maze Rats names table. Am I right? Poppy
You're all right.
Yay!
using the Adventure Smith app.
Yes, sir. Good job.
Nice.
That was all.
Fantastic. Good. Okay. Anything else?
I was going to say, in terms of the rules, it's been a fair old while since I've played the I've played a fighting fantasy, so I'm sure at some point you'll have to remind me of various bits of the rules. But I'm sure if we all knuckle down, we'll all get through it.
Yeah, I will. I will give you just the quickest of summaries if you want. So,
Yeah, lovely.
combat is covered by forming your attack strength, which you do by rolling 2 dice and adding the total to your skill. There are some modifiers to that, but that's it. And then you compare that with everybody who's trying to attack you. We don't do initiative because everything kicks off at the same time. That's the beautiful thing about the attack strength. And then whoever wins that attack strength contest gets to inflict damage. Just for speed, because we're online, there is a variable weapon damage option in the Riddling Reaver, but I'm just going to go with all weapons do 2 damage, which is pretty classic fighting fantasy. Testing for luck. You roll 2 dice, you're trying to roll under luck. Whether you succeed or fail, you reduce your luck by 1 point. So you should always obviously record your initial luck because there are various things that will restore your luck. But testing your luck obviously gets more difficult as time goes on. And I can give out luck points as boons and things like that. And I'd encourage you to be free with your luck. There's a way that you can lose luck. You can use luck in combat if you want to try and make your blow a bit more harmful, or to try and if you've taken a blow, to try and make it less harmful to you. And also, I will let you test for luck if you ask me that classic question, what's on the wall? Is there a sword hanging on the wall that I can pull off the wall and fight him with? Then I'll likely say test for luck. Your magic, when you want to cast a spell, you roll 3d6 and you're trying to roll under your magic score. Whether you're successful or not, you lose that spell. And there is a danger that you have some sort of critical fumble. I'm going to say if you fail in your spell casting and you roll treble anything, then that will be a roll on the oops table or some equivalent that I fancy looking at. For everything else, absolutely everything else, it's either test for luck or it's roll under skill. And that is all the rules. You've got 10 provisions. At any point that we agree is a suitably restful point, you can consume any number of provisions for 4 stamina points each. You don't have any potions of fortune or potions of skill or anything like that, but there's plenty of opportunities to pick up funky equipment as the game goes on. Yeah,
what do we start with? It's a sword, backpack, and 20 provisions, was it?
A rope, I think, was our rope.
A coil of rope. Yeah, let me go back to the
rope, backpack. And
yeah,
just
a
to
sword,
check, is
backpack,
that the
coil of rope, 10 provisions.
10 provisions, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the oops table from Troika we're using, yeah?
We're definitely not using the oops table from Troika.
Oh, okay,
even
sorry,
if
my
it
mistake.
is
Colin,
virtually identical to the one from Dungeoneer.
Oh, sorry.
But I got some other tables of magical fumbles here. I might just dip liberally into those as well.
Nice.
We're playing the Riddling Reaver, but I did roll on the one from the Black Cat the other day, and it was hilarious what happened. So that one might get used.
As long as I don't have to play with my eyes closed.
No, we won't be doing that one. Right, we're good to go then.
We're good to go.
Raring.
Excellent. Okay, so this is your player's tale. This one's slightly longer. So you've been trekking across the lands in search of adventure, excitement, and above all, treasure. Forsaking the western shores, you headed south, came to the land of Kallamehr, which is ruled by the noble house of Rangor. Compared to the hardships you faced on the journey, Kallamehr promises comfort and rich pickings. Judging by the rounded bellies of the traders you've passed on the road, business must be good around here. After 2 months solid travelling, interrupted only by the occasional skirmish with beasts and bandits, you've caught the scent of the sea in the wind. The road broadens as it approaches the town of Kallamehr, and you see its famous tower looming majestically in the distance. As you draw near the town, you catch sight of the sprawling collection of buildings which huddle beneath the tower. The twisting architecture is strange to your northern eyes. It seems to have no order to it. You wonder how on earth people can live in such chaotic squalor. An imposing pair of gates looms before you. Strangely, no guards seem to be around, and the gates are open. You can make out the faint sound of shouting from the other side of town, but the houses block your vision, and you cannot see what the commotion is about. You hurry towards the sound of the crowd, which gets louder as you get closer. Carts sit unattended, stalls unguarded, and livestock runs free. Minutes after leaving the gate, you arrive at the central square, the scene of the commotion. Packed into the square is a vast crowd, surely the entire population of Kallamehr apart from the wretch in the gatehouse. Each pair of eyes is fixed on the top of the tower, where a spindly figure is struggling to free himself from the clutches of a short-robed man, who in turn is trying to force the other off the edge of the balcony. The spindly man is teetering on the edge. With every twist and turn, the onlookers gasp ever louder. The tension is unbearable. There you go. So you're in the throng of townspeople struggling to avoid being crushed against the sea wall. People are shrieking in disbelief and pandemonium reigns. You guess that it's the Baron up there fighting for his life. But why? Nobody seems able to do anything. Guardsmen are pounding in vain on the mighty oaken doors of the tower. The crowd just stands and stares. The sea crashes against vicious rocks at the foot of the cliff below the tower. Now is your chance to demonstrate your heroism. Can you save the Baron? But how do you reach him?
We're never going to make it up there in time.
It does seem a long way up.
Well, I think it's a bit out of order throwing a geezer off a tower.
I'm looking around like an entrance to the tower, but what can we do even if we get into the tower? We'll never make it up there in time. And I'm sort of looking around to see if I can see a way into the tower, if there's a way to climb the outside of it or something.
Yes, well, the tower is covered in ivy, as the picture shows, and it's 3 floors high. But the ivy looks reasonably sort of robust. And then you've got the guards still trying to splinter that heavy oak door.
So Poppy will shake the shoulder of the person in front of her and say, "What's going on?"
It looks like the Baron's under attack. It looks like the Baron up there is in some kind of peril. As you're watching, you can see the two figures. They're kind of back and forth. It's not clear who's got the upper hand. Every now and again, it looks like one's going to go over the edge, and they just managed to pull it back.
I think that looks well out of order. You can't be throwing people off a tower. I'm gonna push aside the crowd, rush over to the tower, and I'm gonna start scaling up the ivy. I'm an outdoors folk. We're made of sterner stuff in the north.
Great. So you grab hold of the ivy, you start climbing. You hear the crowd, everybody in the crowd gasps at your
Go, Harry, go!
Swing your way up. Okay. Oh, it's got 4 floors.
Oh,
okay.
blimey.
So to scale the first floor...
Might bit off a bit more than I can chew here, lads.
Well, you know you need to roll against your
Poppy's going to stand beneath him now with her arms out because you can see this is going to go wrong. Horribly wrong.
Okay. Well, remember that you're standing underneath Harry. Brilliant.
Yeah. Ready up that feather fall there.
So you've got to roll under, remember.
What am I rolling under? Skill.
Your skill, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Equal to's no good.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm below average, so this may have been foolhardy.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Paul.
6, yeah, boy.
You're doing well, Harry.
Fantastic.
Don't tell me I've got to do that 4 times.
Be careful.
Well, I mean, when you get to the first floor, you do find there is a window, so you could climb in through the window.
Yeah, I better do. I don't want to... Yeah, I better do that. I think. Yeah, I was lucky to get to the first.
But Poppy will still go on, go all the way.
Yeah, I'll go in the window. I'm straight away going to look for somewhere to anchor the rope and drop the rope down to my companions.
Great. Well, you can do that. Let's say you do that first.
Yeah.
So the rope is tied off, and they can be climbing up safely while I give the description. So the first floor consists of impressive living quarters, adorned with rich tapestries and furniture. The floor is littered with small scraps of paper. The room is gloomy since the curtains are drawn, and the only 2 candles shed a feeble light. On an opulent couch sits a man in the robes of a wizard. He sits quite still and is apparently deep in thought. He seems to be smiling broadly and cradles a box in his hands. And Poppy and Adolphus make their way through the window. You're all in the room together.
That was further than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, I know. I'll do that bit where you sort of like you look back and you look down and you're like, oh.
I hope the stairs down.
Excuse the intrusion, old fella. I don't know what to say. there's some trouble going on at the top of the tower, and
Look, we haven't got time to talk to this old boy. We've got to get to the stairs and find a way up to the top of the tower.
Yes, you've got stairs. A spiral staircase goes up and down. The figure on the couch doesn't acknowledge you in any way. In fact, he remains entirely motionless.
As I'm sort of heading towards the stairs, I sort of stop and do one of those half turns back, and then I peer at this box he's holding. As a sort of a scholar of the occult, I'm gonna sort of peer closely at it, see if there's anything that particularly strikes a chord with me as like a student of the occult, because it seems a bit weird that there's this guy just like chilling here, like not minding what's going on with this like weird box on his knee.
Absolutely, and you see that the boxes are fine. It's a beautifully crafted piece of work. It's made of this interlocking sections of some very hard wood, and it has got some kind of cryptic inscription on its surface.
As I sort of reach over, like sort of keep like half looking out the corner of my eyes at this guy, do his eyes like follow me? Does he give any sign of reacting as I sort of like look at this box?
They don't follow you, and as you study him, you notice that his throat has been slit from ear to ear. He is quite dead.
Oh, the Lord, this man's been slain. And I'm going to sort of reach out and just very gingerly touch the top of the box. And sort of see if does it feel warm? Is there anything untoward as I put my hand on it?
You pick up no special vibrations or
just
you
grab
don't
it.
notice
Just
anything
grab it.
unusual about the temperature.
Yeah, so thinking that Bowl's right, we've got to get upstairs, I'm just going to grab the box, sort of tuck it under my arm, and then resume like running up the stairs.
Yeah.
I need to get to the top of this tower, but quick.
Dragging up my rope whilst this is going on, looking both ways. Oh, let's get going. Let's get going.
And Poppy will just sort of poke this bloke in the cheek just to make sure he is dead and just not faking it.
Oh yeah, and at that he falls to the side.
Oh.
So as you go up the spiral staircase, the first thing you note is it's becoming really warm. Okay, and as you go up, and you can make out a bright light, and then you come out into a room that's got the walls are made of some polished silvered metal, and they've been polished until they are reflective. And you notice, you're in a tower, so it's a circular room with mirrored walls, which gives an eerie effect. And the room's got much larger windows than those of the floor that you've just come from. And it becomes obvious that this room serves as the tower's beacon. And the source of light is a large fiery being held securely in a cage in the centre of the room. The cage, half of which is barred and half walled, stands on a podium which revolves slowly. And the light from the creature dazzles you, and you can't look at it directly. You're thankful that it's safely imprisoned behind magically enchanted bars. Stationed at regular intervals around the room are half a dozen pails of water. As the last of you, I'm guessing that's probably Poppy coming up at the end, steps into the room, the door of the cage slowly springs open. Someone has been careless, and the fiery creature is reaching out and moving towards you.
Poppy will draw her sword, and she's like visibly shaking now because wasn't expecting this.
Any other actions from people?
I am going to grab up the nearest bucket of water and shout, "Fire! Fire!" and toss it over the fiery creature.
Harry, I need a test for luck from you now, please.
Okay.
And don't forget to reduce your luck score, but obviously record your initial luck.
Okay, yeah. So initial luck 9. A 7 is rolled. It's a success. I'll drop in down to 8.
Okay, so you pour the water onto the creature, and your quick thinking action is successful. This Devlin, so that's what Adolphus the Mage recognises it as, because he knows a little bit about the magical plane of fire, has been banished back to the magical plane of fire, and it disappears in a sizzle of smoke.
Can't let these fires get out of hand. You've got to act fast. My old man used to tell me that.
I just sort of like mop my sweating forehead with like the bits of paper I've been like rifling through, and I'm like, that was close.
No, don't worry, I had it anyway. Never any doubt.
Just as an indication of the beautiful way in this book's written, we are told that players who do not think to use the pails of water do not deserve to escape this room. Which I think is quite nice.
Well, they weren't banging on the worms, man.
And Poppy
or maybe they were.
Poppy will catch a reflection in the in the mirrored walls and go, "Looking good, girl, looking good."
Fantastic.
We haven't got time for your vainglory, Poppy. We've got to get up the tower and find out what's going on. We're wasting precious seconds. And I'm going to see if I can open the door or whatever to this chamber, and we can carry on up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. Well, the barred chamber is just a sort of beacon in the middle. Again, you've got the stairs carrying on up the spiral staircase that you can come. Okay, so you break out onto the roof of the tower. So the roof of the tower is made of rough flint stones. A tall flagpole in the centre flies the Baron's emblem. As you arrive, you catch a fleeting glimpse of Baron Bluestone teetering on the parapet of the tower, but then plummeting to the rocks. That's in the text. It's in the cutscene. You were never going to save him.
I'll do one of those bits where I run over to the side that he's on, and I'm just like, and he's gone.
And you just get a bit of his cloak.
Yeah, a little bit of cloth in my hand.
That's it. Now, his opponent, pictured with that distinctive sort of chameleon-like face, turns slowly round, chuckling insanely to himself. When he sees you, he scampers over to the flagpole. He grips it firmly and spins effortlessly upwards, right to the top. His voluminous grey robe billows in the breeze and hides his features. He cackles at you. "Looks like we're a bit late, aren't we?" he squeals. "Your precious Baron's not much use now, is he? Ha ha ha! He had no sense of humour anyway. Ha ha!"
At this point, I would like to ask if I can make a look roll, because I'm sort of looking at the scrap of cloth in my hand. I get a bit of an idea, and as he's spinning up the flagpole, I'm going to try and grab the end of his robes and
Oh, you want to go up with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
to be honest, I'm more thinking in character my weight might pull him down. But...
Right. That is absolutely worth a luck roll to see if you can catch him in time. Yeah. Good. This is all good. I'm always going to say yes because it will get you to spend.
And
luck.
it's 3d6 to get below my luck roll.
No, luck is 2d6 under luck.
Okay, so that's a 6. So that is under my luck of 8. I'll lower it to 7.
Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to describe that scene, right? Because he's trying to kick at you as you've grabbed his robes, and you are indeed pulling him back.
Yeah, I'm going to be shouting to others. I'm going to be "Quickly, I can't hold him, grab on!"
Yeah, rush over.
So while this is all going on, there's a gasp from the crowd below, and then a mighty shadow falls over all of you.
What?
And you look up, and you can see some 20 metres above you is a vast marrow-shaped flying vessel. And beneath it hangs a small, luridly coloured gondola from which trails a rope. And it's that rope that the Reaver is trying to get hold of.
It's Barney from Loco Ludus.
Oh, yeah. There's dirigibles all over the place. Yeah. Now, the Reaver says, "I do so hate goodbyes. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not." And so saying, he pats the top of the flagpole. Well, actually, he pats the bit of the flagpole he's touching because, you've changed this now, John, and attempts to spin up the rope to the gondola. Well, that's in the balance whether he achieves that or not. But more importantly, what does happen is the flagpole turns into a gigantic snake and immediately rears on Aldolphus. Right, now, Aldolphus, you've got a choice. Yeah? If you want to keep hold of the Reaver, this is going to get an automatic bite on you. Or you can let go and just drop that short distance as he makes good his escape. But this first big defenceless bite is going to be, it's your choice, Adolphus. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna hold on, mainly out of fear, more than any sort of inherent bravery. I'm just I'm sort of grabbed on instinctively, and I'm kicking my leg out ineffectively in the direction of the snake. Yeah!
Fantastic. So let's see how much harm is done to you. Okay, 3 points of stamina damage as the snake sinks its teeth into you. Right, let's have action. So we've got the Reaver. He's holding the rope, but he can't climb any higher. The flagpole is now a snake. It's already latched onto Adolphus. What are people doing?
Go on, Pete.
Poppy's going to say, "Give us a fighting chance," and at that, she's going to take a swing at the snake.
Fantastic. Right. Any actions from you, Colin?
Yeah, I'm gonna run up and I'm not sure where Poppy is in the fight, but if I can get a clear shot, I'm gonna try and take a swing with my axe at the snake.
Fine. So I need an attack strength from each of you, and then I'll compare that to my attack strength. The person the snake is going to try and harm is Poppy. The other one, if the snake wins, it's only got one attack.
And if I remember rightly,
successfully defend
we
you.
add our skill to this roll, don't we?
That's right. 2d6 plus skill. So my attack strength is 17.
Oh, wicked. 18. Rolled a 11.
12 in total.
Okay. So, and I was attacking Poppy. So Poppy, you can take 2 points of damage, and I take 2 points from Harry.
Yeah. Don't be biting, Poppy.
Brilliant. Okay, so now I need actions. So again, you're just kind of in the middle of things, Adolphus, and then we've got Harry and Poppy whacking away at this snake. It's dangling down. It is able to attack you with its coils. It's flailing. It's
so Poppy will say to Harry, "Should we grab Adolphus or should we get the snake?"
It just doesn't register with him. He's just like weighing on it like it was a tree back in his homeland. He's looking to fell it now.
Fine, you're going to keep attacking it. Yeah?
So Poppy will look up at Adolphus and she'll try and grab his feet and sort of bring him back down again. She fears that he might be carried off.
Fine. Are you going to try and resist that, Adolphus?
Yeah, I'm just like clinging onto this guy for grim death, basically. Because I'll be like, "No, Poppy, if I let him go, he's going to get away." And I'm sort of trying to ineffectively hang on.
Then I want each of you to roll an attack strength, and we'll see who wins there, and then we'll resolve the combat round with you, Colin.
Okay.
That's 17 for me.
15 for me.
Okay, so you haven't managed to pull Adolphus down yet. Right, how this combat round is going to go. The snake's got a rule, which I think it's more fun to share with you ahead of time. The snake's rule is that if the snake... I mean, you'll get a sense of this as it attempts. What it's trying to do, Adolphus, is it's trying to... Now it's got purchase on you. It's trying to open its jaw wider and consume you. It's trying to gulp you down, right? The rule is if the snake scores 2 hits in succession, it will swallow its prey whole and they will quickly die. Okay, I think it's you that it's trying to swallow. So I'm going to do an attack. I'm going to roll 1 attack strength. We're going to compare it to Adolphus and Harry. If Harry wins, he can do damage to me. If I win against Adolphus, I do damage to him.
Okay.
So mine is... I've rolled 9.
I've got a 13 in total.
So I'm on 18.
Great. Okay. So it doesn't manage to chomp you down, and you've struck it again, Harry.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
I'm gonna burn a point of luck to increase my damage.
Oh, okay. So you have to burn the point of luck, and then you have to roll luck. Okay. And if you're successful, you can do 2 more points. But if you're unsuccessful, you do 1 less point.
Oh,
it's a very costly, for the benefit you get, it's very costly. It's even worse if you're rolling to reduce harm. It's just either take 1 away or add 1.
Screw it, drive it like I stole it. It's a 5, 2 damage.
Okay,
extra 2.
I think we might have found the game for you, Colin, where you have to roll low.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Not the black hack then.
Okay, so Adolphus, are you still holding on for dear life?
Yeah, I'm still like...
Fine, the Reaver's still kicking away at you.
And on the end of that is Poppy on the end with like a chain now. The 3 of us all hanging on to each other.
And you're still trying to pull him down?
Yes. Yeah.
Great, let's do that one then. Let's resolve an attack strength between Poppy and Adolphus.
17.
Okay. 16. You've bitten me.
Oh, okay. So, Poppy manages to successfully pull Adolphus down. Yeah, you don't go too far, but the Reaver is, laughs maniacally again and then swings up his rope towards his gondola to make good his escape. All right, and then you've got to do an attack strength against me, Harry. I presume you're still hacking away at this.
Oh, yes.
It's going to concentrate on you now.
A 9 plus 7 is a 16.
Okay, you've won.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend your luck again?
No, I'm not going to push my luck this time. No.
Okay, so it's still going. Right, so we got Adolphus, you're probably picking yourself up off the floor for this round.
I imagine she's on top of Poppy, sort of Poppy's underneath. Sort of, get off!
Fine. So you're both out of action for the moment, and Harry, you're going to carry on against the snake then.
Yeah, Harry just takes a quick glance across, shaking his head, and he swings.
It's coming at you with its big fanged maw now. It's going to try and get 2 attacks.
It's a 13.
I've got 17. So I'm going to do you 2 points of damage, and then I'm going to come straight back at you and hope to swallow you whole.
Oh.
Okay. So it's got a purchase on you now. The teeth have sunk into you.
Feel free to join in any time.
Yeah.
What now?
Okay, so you guys, you've managed to untangle yourself. So Harry, I presume you're still hacking away at this snake.
Yeah.
It'll be like a nonchalant, like it's never happened, and carry on.
So Poppy and Adolphus, what are you doing?
We're going to sort of surround. I imagine we're going to surround this snake and give it a bit of "Don't Stop Me Now" from Shaun of the Dead, I think.
Right. Okay.
Well, actually, I'm not, because I would be pants at that, to be honest. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and use my fire spell. It allows you to conjure like fire from the earth, like a small explosion that does like a dice of damage. So I'm going to try and conjure some fire under the coils of this snake.
Tremendous, yeah, and that will go off first. So if you give me roll 3d6, you're trying to roll under magic.
Yeah, that's a 7, so it's definitely under my magic.
Great, so you cross off one expenditure of fire, and then you can roll d6 damage against its
stamina. And that's 5 damage to it.
Fine, so you consume the snake in a ball of fire. I did say it was grabbing onto Spike Pit. So I feel like making Harry test for luck.
Ooh, he's determined.
I'm really going to hammer that luck, yeah.
Okay, right, let's see. Killer GM's got it in for me.
Yeah.
He keeps telling your brother, so he's after you now, isn't he?
Yeah. Hey, 2 snake eyes. How'd you like that?
Snake eyes for a snake.
Snake eyes. That's when you want snake eyes. Brilliant. But I'm chipping away that luck score.
Pun intended.
Okay. So you throw off the smouldering body of the gigantic snake, and the Reaver's gondola is gliding off into the wild blue yonder. And all the heads of all the people at the bottom are all looking up at this
shake my
receding
fist.
shape.
Yeah, I sort of do that thing where I look up thinking, maybe we can stop him, and then just see it into the distance, and I'm like,
yeah.
And Poppy will sort of turn to the crowd and sort of take a bow.
Yeah, excellent. And then the stunned crowd. Well, actually, they don't cheer because they are stood around the broken body of the Baron, and they don't yet know what has become of the Baron's good lady wife.
Head down the tower and try and find the Baron's wife. Or did we hear if the doors were broken in yet or not?
They haven't been bashed in yet.
Let's go down and
so you go back through the beacon room, back through the corpse, past the corpse with the slit throat, and you get to the ground floor, and the doors there's still hammering going on the doors. But in this chamber is sparsely furnished. It's got a rough wooden table and a few chairs. Hanging against the walls are various cooking utensils and sides of meat. On the other side of the room, there's a large fireplace with a chimney breast. Around the walls, there's the spiral staircase that you're going down on. Sitting on one of the chairs is this woman. She is bound with an expression of utmost horror on her face. Perched on her head is a large glass jar. Swarming in the jar are at least a dozen tarantulas. The slightest movement will bring the jar crashing to the floor, releasing its deadly contents.
Oh, my sweet Caroline. You're in a bit of a pickle.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm tempted to burst into song, but I won't.
I'm going to very hesitantly move across, and I'm going to be like, sort of hold my breath, trying to steady myself, and I'm like, and try and lift the jar off.
Well, you achieve that wonderfully. Adolphus walks along. Perhaps it's his little silken magic slippers or whatever. You've got little pointy up wizard slippers or something like that. But you're absolutely, absolutely silent.
Poppy's going to shy away from the spiders. She doesn't like the look of them.
Lady Caroline, at this point, with help at hand, this is where she wavers. She's been keeping this jar perfectly balanced, but just as Adolphus is about to lift it off her head, her nerve breaks and the faintest tremor passes through her. It is enough. The jar falls into her lap. Everybody holds their breath and then drops onto the stone floor, but it's still intact. Then, while you're watching, it rolls lazily towards the table, strikes a leg, and shatters. And the seething mass of tarantulas emerges. And you will fight them as a tarantula swarm.
Poppy's going to jump on top of the table and sort of stab down at them. She doesn't like the thought of spiders nipping at her ankles.
Quickly, everyone get behind me, and I'm going to be trying to like drag the lady sort of back towards the door.
Fine. She's tied to this chair.
Yeah, if I can.
So you're dragging the chair.
Yeah, I will literally drag the chair, and I'll be like giving Harry like the nod to like help me with this chair.
Fantastic. Harry, you also pulling the chair?
Yeah, I just wade in like stomping my feet down on anything tarantula spider like that steps in my way, and grab up the chair, like grab up the say like where it's being dragged from the back. I'll pick it up at the legs so that it's more like a stretcher than.
Fine. Yeah. So you're carrying her out of the way, right? So that means
and I'm stomping.
Yeah. So I think everybody's got to roll against the tarantulas. I like your stomping. So if you're doing an attack strength for everybody. Adolphus, I think yours, if you win it, will just keep you safe.
Okay.
But both Poppy and Harry.
16 for me.
14.
16. 16.
Okay, so I've got 16 as well. So that's stalemate between us two. But you're lower, aren't you, Pete?
Yep.
So, luckily, these spiders appear not to do much particular damage. So you feel a painful bite on your ankle as one of the spiders makes its way to your ankle, but you take no stamina damage. Okay. Though the two of you who've got the chair managed to pull the chair just as the door splinters and the guards burst through the door. You managed to pull the chair out of the door. I'm happy if you want to do if Poppy wants to do a heroic leap off the table, you can clear the distance across the room.
Do you want me to do a luck test?
No, I'm all right. I'm gonna let that be successful. Okay. However, as you guys are gathering, in fact, I'm going to say the guards finish off the spiders while you guys are dealing with Lady Carolina. You set her upright. You cut the ropes. Sorry, was that something you wanted to do there, Poppy?
I was just going to say to the guards, we've softened the spiders up for you. If you'd be so kind as to finish them off.
Great. As you say that, Poppy, you notice the bite that you got on your ankle is really itchy. And then all over your body, starting at that area, but spreading all across your body, you sprout thick black spider hair. everywhere. Which so you don't look as nice in the mirror next time you look, but you are now covered from head to toe in bristly, thick black spider hair, and I'm afraid that while you are covered in this spider hair, you act as if you have 2 points less of skill. So you effectively lose 2 points of skill, and you look entirely hideous. Lady Carolina,
that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah,
It's true.
Some
Lady Carolina's
hairy girls.
Some people just like furries. Full stop.
Yeah. Good. It's a bit spiky if you're hugging them.
Ooh.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with being a bit spiky, is there, Mr.
Nothing
Pitt?
wrong with a bit of spikiness, man.
So, Lady Carolina asks you what happened to her husband.
I'm sorry.
Where's her husband?
I'm sorry to tell you this, your ladyship, but I'm afraid your husband is dead. We tried our best to make it to the top of the tower to stop his assailant, but we were too late.
Oh, she screams in horror, and then she says something about that little rat of a soothsayer through her sort of sobbing and tears, and then it's too much for her, and she falls, particularly looking at Poppy as well, which reminds her of her ordeal, and she falls into a deep faint.
I'll turn to the guards and I'll be like, hey, quickly, we need to get her some water and get her somewhere safe.
There's some buckets upstairs if you need some water.
Good.
Yeah,
So
I'll run upstairs and get the bucket and then come back and do the whole swab her forehead with a cloth.
Fantastic. So you bring her back round. And she explains to you. She thanks you for helping her and asks what happened to Kona Numdrum, or as she now knows, the Riddling Reaver.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
What
happened to him? That soothsayer.
We tried our best to stop him, but he summoned some sort of a dirigible and used magics to make it to the airship and escaped. We couldn't follow him. He transformed the flagpole on top of the tower into some giant serpent. It was all we could do to defeat the beast and prevent it from killing us. We weren't able to stop him, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, she's horrified to hear this, but now that she's recovered, she's sort of taken on a sort of grim sense of purpose, and she's put aside her mourning for her husband for the time being, and she explains to you. She thanks you for your help again. Explains to you what happened. So the Baron's soothsayer, who she now knows was the Riddling Reaver, had been driving Lord Bluestone out of his mind by bombarding him with riddle upon riddle. And Carolina actually engaged Hammett the Dash, a wizard, to discover the source of his torment. But he was intercepted by Kona Numdrum, who revealed himself to be the Riddling Reaver, an agent of the trickster gods of luck and chance, who then slit Hammett's throat and left his final riddle, which was apparently on the box, which Adolphus now holds.
Yeah, also, as she says, his final riddle, I'll sort of take that out from under my arms and sort of hold it up.
If you would see what I contain and maybe learn some news of gain, solve this riddle, drop me in it, wait for the click, then pull me from it. I will be open, then you'll see the reason for this riddle me read. Here's the riddle. It trembles at each breath of air, and yet can heaviest burdens bear. It shows no mark when it is hit, and more, you're mostly made of it.
Water?
It could be, and I'm going to turn around to where we've got the pail of water that we brought down, and I'm just going to drop the box into the bucket of water, and then sort of listen in case there's a click, as the instructions said.
Yeah. Indeed, there is a loud click.
And I'll immediately pull it out of the water.
And the box falls open, though its contents are perfectly dry. And there's a parchment inside it, on which is written the following. I'm going to read it in the Reaver's voice. I always believe in giving people a chance. After all, without chance, there is no luck. And without either, where would I be? You can try to follow me if you want to avenge Bluestone's death, and I won't stop you. In fact, I'll provide the transport. But to pay your fare, you'll have to gather 3 trinkets and feed them to the god of the sea at Brian's Bluff. What's more, the trinkets aren't even hidden. All you have to do is solve my riddles to find where in Kallamehr they are. I hope you're lucky. Then again, I hope you're unlucky. It's all the same to me. So there's your riddles.
Wow.
There's your riddles. And that is, in fact, end of scene 1.
Mm.
And scene 2 is that scene in which you search Kallamehr for the objects.